Hey, this is Mr. Coker with Foundations of Algebra, Lesson 4.3, Multiplying Polynomials. So, let me start by saying, what is a polynomial? A polynomial, it means you have some kind of expression with more than one term in it, with multiple terms. Poly means many, numeral means, or nomial means number. Now, we don't just have to have numbers, we can have variables as well, which represent numbers. So, it means that we have multiple terms. So there are two main ways that people use to multiply polynomials. If you have binomials, meaning two terms times two terms, you can use the FOIL method. Now the example I have does have two binomials, and that's a good way to do it as well as it works. I'm going to solely focus on what's called the area model, or the box method, both because that's what most students prefer, and because it works no matter how many terms we have. So, let's get to it. I have here, I have an expression which can look confusing to students at times. 2x, the quantity of 2x minus 1 times the quantity of 3x plus 5. In doing this, what we're really going to do is to use the distributive property, but use it multiple times. So we're going to essentially distribute 2x times 3x and 5, and then distribute negative 1 times 3x and 5. Now, in theory, it seems kind of simple, like, oh, you're just distributing twice. Well, that's a lot of terms. You'll wind up with 4 products when you're done. So that's why sometimes something like this box, or box method or area model, often works very well. So, we'll start with 2x minus 1. On the outside of this box, I'm going to put each of our terms. 2x minus 1. So on the side, I'm putting each term from that binomial. And on top, we have 3x plus 5, and I'm going to write each term from that binomial. So we have 2x minus 1 times 3x plus 5. Now, we have 4 boxes. And I'm going to fill each box with a product, starting, and always start at the top left. We have 2x times 3x. Often it's a good idea to multiply numbers and then variables. So we have 2 times 3, of course, is 6. And then we have x times x. This is probably the main part where students sometimes get confused. Because when we combine like terms, and we have like 2x plus 3x, we would add the coefficient and just put an x. When we're multiplying, we don't do that. When we're multiplying, we can multiply no matter what terms we have. If they're like terms, unlike terms, it doesn't matter. When we're multiplying, the reason we do that is when we're multiplying x times x, we're going to count how many x's we have, and it's 2, and we're going to turn that into an exponent. So 6x to the second power, or 6x squared. Now, let's keep going. Now in this box, I'm going to look up above us, and we have 3x, and look to the side, and we have a negative 1. Notice now, again, we'll start with the numbers. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. And then I'll look at the x's. Well, we have an x, and then we don't have anything. We don't have any variable. So how many x's do we have? Of course, we have 1. I'm just going to write x. Negative 3x. Same thing up here. We have a 5, and we have a 2x. Well, 5 times 2 is 10, and then we have an x, just 1, so I'm going to put 10x. And then finally we have 5 times negative 1 is negative 5. Remember, look above and look to the side. Do multiply. Now we're just about done, but this is a part where sometimes people get confused because we just multiplied and we got 4 products. But just like with the distributive property, we have plus and minuses in between the different terms once we're finished. We still do. So here I have 6x squared plus, or I'll put minus 3x plus 10x minus 5. Now that is not my final answer because we have to combine any like terms. Well, what terms do we have which are alike here? We have x's which are like terms. So I'm going to put those together, combine them. Now 6x squared comes down. Negative 3x plus 10x. Negative 3 plus 10 is 7. So we'll do plus 7x minus, the minus 5 comes down. And this is my final answer. And that's it. So multiplying polynomials, it involves using the distributive property. I like it in the form of an area model or box method. And then it involves doing your multiplication and then combining any like terms that you may have. So, distributive property. Thanks for watching and hope you have a good day.